beautiful morning at AUT Millennium, and we're here for lactate testing. We've got two boys lactate testing today, Harry and Stanley, two boys travelling to the ICF World Cross Country Champs in May. Quincy?
Thanks. So today we're running through a practical application of the lactate testing, where essentially we'll go over the protocol and procedure that we need to extract our proper training paces to ensure that we're obviously training thoroughly and correctly.
While Harry's still out on his warm-up, I thought we should take you through the gear that we'll be using on our lactate test today. Firstly, we've got the AUT Plus. This will measure the lactate and tell us what the levels are during the test. Secondly, we've got the strips where you exert the blood onto. These are $4 each strip, so they're quite expensive.
This itself is the pricker which is used to extract the blood. You chuck one of these in, you push it down and you take this off, put it on to the level. Because it's quite hard to get blood at the start, we usually put it on to 7. You load it up by pulling it back and you prick the finger onto this, which we then chuck into the machine, chuck it in here, and then we put it back on, and it takes about a minute to get the blood levels, which we then record on this sheet, which has Harry of course, and it has the paces that we want him to run, it has the times that he has to run and the distance. We will then be recording his heart rate after every run, and obviously the lactate levels through the AUT Plus, and his perceived exertion, so how he feels after each level. Essentially what we're looking for is we're looking to slowly build up the lactate levels until we reach a spike, which will then we will be able to determine the correct training paces and train more efficiently. Alright, so Harry's now at 3:55 pace. After he did his 20-minute warm-up, we got his resting, beforehand we got his resting, which is 1.4, and we've slowly crept up to, I believe, 2.7 after we've hit 4:15 pace and 4:05. We're now at 3:55. We're still waiting on the spike, which is good, so we'll hopefully reach that around 3:30, 3:35, and we'll see from there, but it's looking good at the moment.
Well, this is Harry Witheridge. He's 15 years old. He's quite new to running, only been running for about a year, but his talents have come out, and he has recently just come second in the country in the 4K road race. Well, this is a great result, as it has showed all the hard work he's put in. Harry has a hobby of Dungeons and Dragons. That's why we call him the Dungeons and Dragons boy. You know, he loves doing it, and that's his hobby, as well as running.
Awesome, so we've just got Harry's last reading in, which we did experience the spike. So he ran about a K and a bit at 3:35 per kilometre, and we experienced like 3.2 spike on the scale, which is awesome. We've figured out where we need to be training under and what pace we need to sustain in order not to reach the red zone and essentially ruin our entire training block because we're working too hard, which is great. So next we've got Stanley up, and he's looking to do the same thing. Hopefully we figure out his levels. It did take a little while, but it's what you've got to do to figure out that sort of stuff. So we'll move on to the next. Firstly, massive congratulations to Harry. We've wrapped up our test, and it wasn't easy. It was almost like a session in itself. So Harry, a few words on how that went?
Yeah, like with most of our training, it starts pretty easy, but when the sun's up and you're a few minutes in, it gets really hard. Yeah, struggling a bit with those last few paces.
Yeah, well, awesome. We did actually experience a spike as well. So when Harry was on about 3:40 per kilometre, he was sitting at about 4.1, and as soon as he dropped down to 3:35, he spiked at about 7.3, which is good for us, as we have a lot more insight into where we should be training. So his threshold pace will sit around 3:35 per kilometre, and it is the sort of thing we will revisit closer to ISF, and we will readjust. We can also, following our training sessions, we can prick his ear and see where he's sitting at to make sure he's working below the pace that he shouldn't be at, which is great. And Harry, how do you feel this will affect your training as well going into ISF?
I think knowing my tempo pace. Tempos are where you get your strength from. So if I can know where I'm supposed to be training at, it means that I can work at a good pace, get stronger, progress, and make sure that I don't overwork so I get good time to recover for my future sessions.
Like a cat born of auburn hair.